All right. So that's an interesting presentation from Dr. Cecilia, and also brings a lot of memories for me on a personal level. So I know that these students are usually critical. So like I was wondering like if anybody had questions, you can ask about anything from research to your life issues or what you want to do after graduation. This is a perfect time for you to ask something. So time is yours. Anybody? Third year? Final year? Anybody? Final year? Second and third year. Usually when I usually when I ask them that question, it will be like 5 seconds of silence. Yeah. Hmm. I think while they're thinking about their questions, I have actually like some of the students asked me before, and I think it's a good idea for you to answer this question because you were also graduating. You enroll in your PhD without doing master degree, right? So like, is it possible for them to do that, and what is the way for them to do that?
So the bachelor degrees in Indonesia is like 3 years or 4 years? It's 4 years. Okay, I was lucky because when I enrolled in my PhD program, they didn't require the 3+2 as the minimum study that you can put in your resume to take your PhD. So I was half year late when I graduated with my bachelor's. I finished my bachelor degree in biology for 4.5 years. And in that moment, I could just skip the master degree. In Italy, at least you have to have the 3+2 years before you can be enrolled in the PhD program. So I don't know. I hope it's going to change if you at least have a good mark in your in your bachelor degrees, but I don't know now these regulations. Okay.
While in the US, actually, you could, yeah. So I know like a lot of people like after doing bachelor, they do internship for like 1 year and then they apply for the PhD already. And I think like yeah, so I think it's doable in a way, but I don't know about Europe. Yeah. Maybe.
I every day it takes me 10 minutes to come to the lab from home. Okay, and then the weather is nice. The air is very clean, and okay, I'm talking about life in general. Okay, not about science. And then it's not very expensive compared to Milan or compared to Rome, so it's affordable to live, and it has beautiful nature because it is a coastal city, so you can just go to the sea if you want to swim, and in 1 hour you reach mountain if you want to ski. So it's very, very nice. So the quality of life, I repeat again, is very, very good. So you will be happy if you're going to visit there. And I think it's important also quality of life to support if your study, right? Because it is a very close aspects. If you're happy, you study well, and vice versa. For the advantage of skipping master, uh, unfortunately, there's a conception that why you skip your master degree because it is 1 degree more in your title, right? But me, let's say like Mr. XXX, BSc, MSc, PhD, because me, I have like SSE PhD without master. But for me, it's good because you don't lose 2 years, okay? And then it gives also some kind of pride that you don't have to either master, but you're good enough to perform your PhD. And yes, I think, I mean, it depends on the, what do you want. If you want to have your master and a extra title, of course you're free to do that. But let's say I want to save 2 years, I want to get my PhD directly, why not? So it's okay. Okay.
I think I want to add the quality of life of Trieste part, because like, oh yeah, because it seems like the 4 years in Trieste, it's like a fever dream for me. Like, you literally live in this like utopia where you come at work, and then like your colleagues in the lab ask you to have a coffee, and then you work, and then it's lunchtime, and then you have another coffee, and then there's a passeggiata where you're like walking around, and then you work. And then at 6 p.m., your boss asks you like if you want to go to the beach with you. But then you got the job done. And that's the beauty of it. It literally teach you that you can actually do science with so much productivity when you're happy and you're in a place where like the quality of life is amazing. So yeah.
That's true. It's also important for the um, interrelation in the lab, right? How do you um, connect with other people in the lab? So, mentioning this, we have this jogging group. So between lunch breaks, you just bring your jogging outfit, and then you can just walk or run around the lab, and then you take a shower, and then you continue do your PCR again. So it's very, very something that you can do. Or you, after lab, you go to a smidsa, like a, how do you call agriturismo? Like like a restaurant on the hill after work. Just do that because it's small city. You have a lot of opportunities. It doesn't take too long to reach your destination. So it's very, very easy to live. And then I've been living in Jakarta. I've been living in Bandung. I've been in Tokyo, and I can say that the best place I've ever been is Trieste, Italy. Hmm. Hmm.
Definitely better than anywhere in the US. Can guarantee that. Trust me, yeah. Any other question? Yes, please. Please introduce yourself as well. Yep, better. Interesting questions.
That's a good question. So basically, for hepatitis B virus, it consists of um, AJ, um, ah, genotype A until I. So nine different genotypes. So in Indonesia, the most predominant genotypes are the HBV genotype B and HBV genotype C. There are some data, unfortunately not Indonesia, that these genotypes influence also the clinical outcome of the patients. They said that the clinical data of the patient infected with genotype C is worse than genotype B. Okay, so there is implications of the different genotypes to the pathogenicity of the virus. Okay, but within genotype, you can also divide this genotype into subgenotypes. Okay, and this is also geographically distributed. So it's quite complex because HBV, there are 5 types of viral hepatitis, and then this, let's say virus hepatitis B is divided into several genotypes, and each genotype is divided into several subgenotypes. Okay, until now what I know, I mean, I apologize if I'm wrong, but until now, the data of the association between genotype and the clinical manifestations is studied until genotype, not subgenotypes. Why? Because the differences between genotypes is due to the differences of the nucleotide sequences of the virus. So of course, maybe there is some mutations or some changes in the DNA. It changes the protein, and then maybe this protein, the conformation of protein, related to the worst clinical outcome in the patients. Okay, so this is, yes, you're right. There is an association between genotypes and the pathogenicity of the disease in the patients. Okay, do I answer your question? Yes, now we're talking a lot about the personalized medicine, right? So how you treat patients based on the characteristic of the disease in this mentioned patients, right? What I know, it's quite standard now. So the determination of genotypes of the virus is not yet included in the consensus of the treatment of the disease. Maybe in the future when there is more data, so that we can say that this genotype is really associated with the clinical outcome of the disease, maybe it can be put also in the chart of the treatment. But at this moment, I don't think it's already put in the as a factor in the choice of the treatment. Maybe in the future, yes. At least in Asia, I don't think it's included the genotype. I'm so sorry if if I'm wrong with this, but in my opinion, or from what I know, it's not yet included. Okay, maybe in the future.
If I might add as well, I think from what I gathered, when it comes to hepatitis B, depending on the genotype, it also contributes to the resistance to antivirus. So I think there are evidences showing, for example, tenofovir was like more resistant for like I don't remember the genotype, but it also could influence. Yeah, even though I think it's stronger, I think there are more evidence in hepatitis C compared to like Hep B resistance. Hmm. No, no, definitely no. Mhm, not in a guideline. Mhm. Thank you. Very interesting question. Any other question? Or like in Zoom? Oh yeah, please.
So my problems during the academic and then research career. So yes, joy and pain happens everywhere, right? Not only in the research. Maybe at the beginning, if we talk about not research aspect, maybe language barrier at the beginning, okay? But now I speak Italian quite well, so it's not problem anymore. And maybe to understand the bureaucracy in the new place, because Italian bureaucracy is quite stiff and it's not easy. Like for example, now I have my permanent residence, but before every year I have to go to renew my stay permit, and it's really annoying procedure, let's say. And then in the research itself, of course, in science, you cannot expect, wherever you work, okay, in science, you cannot expect to have always good results. There is a saying that in 100 results you have, maybe you don't have results for 80%, and then you get result 20%, and good results only 5%, 10%, and those are data that you can publish, okay? So this is one of the biggest difficulties. And then one of the challenge is to believe in what you are doing, okay? If you believe in what you do, if you believe that your work is important, I think you can do it. You can motivate yourself to do it. For the academic career, I talked with Dr. Yogi before that it's not easy to have an academic career in Italy. Maybe it's more difficult than Indonesia, okay? So one of the major struggles we have, not only me, but most of the, especially foreign scientists, is to get the, let's say, the tenure track program. So tenure, if you know, like you go to university, you have your fixed positions, and then you spend your career there. So it's a little bit tricky because it's not easy, and then the places are not so much. You can do it, okay? It's not 0% you can do it, but you really have to prove yourself, and then you have to know the system, okay? So it's difficult, but if you really want to do it, you can do it. The good things that I learned in Italy, it's very easy to make a research collaborations. Basically, you just need to call the professor you want to work with, and then usually they said, yes, of course, this is nice things to do. Let's do it together. I think this is also one of the most encouraging things that I noticed in Italy. So this is good thing, okay. But for other things, yes, there is also some difficulties. Okay, do I answer questions? Okay.
I think in conjunction to that, what is interesting is that um, dealing with like negative result, and that's a problem with all of these young scientists, because like especially students, master students that you mentored, like once they have a negative result, they feel so affected by that.
It's so normal.
It's so
It's so
normal.
normal. Don't worry, result is result. If you have negative result, it might be negative or there is something wrong, but you do it again and then you will get good results in the end.
Indeed, yeah. Because that's research. You fall and then you rise again until finally just
Yeah,
everything works.
but in the end, when you get your paper published, it's a reward. Okay, you are happy, and let's say I have my name in these international publications. Look, this is what my contributions to science. And then it's like that.
So I think we are running out of time. Thank you very much for your very active contribution. If you have any other questions, you can ask Dr. Cecil after the session. So before I close the session, there's an evaluation survey program in the screen that you can scan a barcode and then you give us you fill the survey for this session of today. So I think what we can learn is that from what Dr. Cecil said, is like research is basically a long journey. And I think, but again, like for every ups and downs of like research that she have done, there's always like some reward that come out of it. And it's all about being passionate and being thorough and then like to achieve whatever goals that you want to have in life. And any other last words that you want to give to all of our audience?
No, I would like to thank you for your attendance here, and then I just want to say that don't be afraid if you want to pursue your career in science, because it's nice, it's challenging, but it's nice, and then it's like life learning process, right? So you don't stuck doing only one thing in your career, but let's say you move forward every day. That's correct? Mhm.
Yes, exactly. So by that, I think it's time to close the session. Thank you very much for all the staff from I3L, all the lecturers, and all of you that participate in this session. And thank you very much for our speaker. And yeah, buona giornata. Have a great day in Italy. And yes, see you again in the next session. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think we already reached the end of the session. Thank you so much, Dr. Cecilia, for the insightful explanation regarding liver study. And thank you so much, Yogi Pratama, PhD, for become our moderator for today's events. And now this is the time for us to give the certificate for the speaker and the moderator by Miss Lydia, PhD, as the Faculty of Biomedicine I3L. For Miss Lydia, please move forward to the stage. The time is yours. Thank you so much. And please don't forget to do the documentation for these ones. Okay. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for attending today's sessions. And me, along Dr. Sukawati and Yogi Pratama PhD, and along I3L team will end this session. Stay safe and stay healthy, everyone. Goodbye.